let's say you're looking for the simple version, simple way to make waves. The first thing I'm going to do is create a gradient. The closer areas need to be my dark, deep water. So I'm going to use this straight blue. This will be fun. I want to prove to you that it is not the exact color that makes it look like water. It can be any color. As it gets further away, as the angle tilts away from your eyes, it needs to be more of the color that it's reflecting from above the surface, which is the sky. And I'm saying that the sky is light blue, so I'm going to start moving this toward a light blue. None of the elements that I've explained in making waves use this exact color. And I want to show you that you can use any color as long as you follow these patterns. Now I've got all the gradients done, so this is my base layer that represents all of my deep water colors. And you can see that I've got it getting lighter, lighter, lighter. Even though I didn't do such a great job of lighter, lighter, it kind of suddenly starts right here. So, you know, I don't get an A+ on that one. You can see I made a nice sharp horizon up here. I just did my blue and white mix all the way across. And each color I added blue and white to it as it goes up. And just to remind you, that is because I'm assuming that I have a blue and white sky reflecting on this. So I'll start making those smile shapes following the same pattern. See, so I'm coming down off the edge of a wave and I'm making my pattern wider as it dips into this trough and then skinnier as it comes up this way. And then it doesn't really matter where I start ramping up onto another wave. I can do that anywhere. As long as I just make it get skinnier as it goes up, wider as I go down. See, I can make two waves right here, one right in front of the other. Maybe they merge into one wave. I make one stroke that comes down or goes some direction. I make another stroke that just crosses right over one of the ends of that stroke. So I try not to, you can see that pattern repeating itself here. I don't do a whole lot of crossing right over another stroke like that. And so this causes that look that I've been showing you all along when you have a trough and then the point meets the trough of another and then that point comes down. So the point of the wave comes up and meets the trough at some point. And that pattern repeats itself. So I do practice at making my strokes connect with each other in that way. And so I just move a little more quickly as my comfort level is higher with it. And as you practice this, you will get faster. See, so this would be the top of a wave right here, meeting the trough between two waves here. But in my foreground, these lines swoop down a lot more than they would if I was doing that same thing up here. Like in here, you can see I kept them a lot more horizontal than I am when I'm down here in the front. Higher in the picture, I definitely want to have more of the reflection color. But I already do because I made that gradient. So that saves me a lot of work. That's an advantage of this wet on dry method. It is definitely faster. You saw earlier with the other technique how I rounded little corners. That's a little harder to do with this technique, but I can still do it. As the brush runs out of paint, I can come back and kind of feather over these, and you can see this corner kind of getting rounded. And I think just the busyness of it all causes the corners to naturally look more rounded. If I want to brighten something, like I explained with the last technique I did, when I brightened those blue waves with the green at the top of each wave, there's an order of color change to follow. So imagine that this color is at the bottom of a ladder, and as it gets brighter, it goes violet, and then it goes red, and then orange, then yellow, to a bright white. So if you're putting yellow in it, it needs to be very bright before you're actually putting yellow in that dark color. Now, the blue is, I'm glad that I made the violet next to the blue because the blue goes the opposite direction. The blue does not go blue, then violet, then red. Like this change right here, from the blue to the violet, it goes blue, and then green, and then yellow, and then white at its brightest color. So if you're adding yellow, again, it needs to be very bright. So there's kind of a line here between blue and violet. If you imagine a rainbow going both directions, and the blue is going to go blue, green, and then if I kept going, I go the yellow, and then the bright white. This violet, then the next would be red. They go opposite directions. So if I completed my rainbow, I have my rainbow colored water. If I completed that rainbow and went out, this one would go, just like I said, violet, red, orange, yellow. This would go blue, green, yellow. And so the green is just like the blue, but it's already green. So it's already at the green stage, but it's still got to climb the same ladder. It goes green, and then more yellow, and then at its very brightest, it becomes white. So following those rules, I'm going to take this violet and I'm going to do the next color up the ladder. So that's going to be red. It needs to be red-er, not red. I don't want to confuse you. It's not going to just be a bright blood red on there. So now I'll just come right up to the tips of these waves here, and I'll bring this down and maybe smear it out with my hand so that, oops, I didn't mean to smear it across my reflection there. Because I want it to have a soft transition into that deeper color. Right there. You know when you've gone too far and there's kind of a delicate balance, of getting that color to be just the right amount redder and just the right amount lighter. I mean, I know I've gone too far when it starts to look like it's a different substance. If I put it on and it looks like it is in fact a brighter area of the same material, then I know I've got my color right. So the blue has to climb the ladder in the order of green, then yellow, then white. I'm not going to get to the yellow. I'm not going to get to the white. That's just the order. See, another way to do that would be to much softer. It'll look nicer. It's just more tools in my hand, so I don't especially love multitasking, Okay, I'll add some more of my sky color as I'm getting further back here. So in the process of doing these highlights, I did lose a little bit of my highlights from the reflections, so now is probably a good time to come back and use a brighter white and do little bright highlights over those. So remember, I just do them on these portions of the wave. And it's just reflection on top now, so I don't need to worry about my different colored underwater. That's some crazy looking water. Just make little dots in here. Dunk. Now I'm just having fun.